Okay, the first thing we want to do here is find the voltage V1 across this 2 amp source. We're given the polarity that we need to use for V1 as our reference value. Now I'm trying to find a voltage, so I'm going to guess that I'm going to end up using KVL. If I use KVL, I'm trying to find this voltage. I know the voltage across the source. Now I just need the voltages across the resistors, which I can find if I know the current through the resistors. So if I do KCL here, the current entering the node has to be the same as the current leaving. So this current here is going to be 2 amps positive in that direction. If that's positive current, I have to assign my voltage polarity to be that. Positive current enters the positive voltage terminal if we're going to use Ohm's law. Voltage is current times resistance, so this becomes a 6 volts. If 2 amps is going into this resistor, 2 amps has to be coming out. If 2 amps is going into that voltage source, 2 amps has to be going out, so the current through the 2 ohm resistor is 2 amps in this direction. If that's my positive current direction, I have to assign my positive voltage to have this polarity, so this voltage is 2 amps times 2 ohms, or 4 volts. Now I can do KVL. So starting down here, I see the negative terminal on V1 first, then I get a plus 6 volts from the 3 ohm resistor, I get 6 volts from the 6 volt source, and I have 4 volts across the 2 ohm resistor. That brings me back to my starting point, and those sum to 0. So V1 is equal to 16 volts. To find the power for a source, power is equal to voltage times current. I can't use I squared R or V squared over R because that isn't a resistor. So I have 2 amps going this direction, which is entering the negative voltage terminal. If I change the polarity on this voltage, I end up with a negative 16 volts. So now 2 amps is going into this positive voltage terminal, and I can just multiply the two together. So this is 16 volts, or rather negative 16 volts, times 2 amps, which is equal to negative 32 watts. Since it's negative, this is generating power.